Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the January 9th, 2022 edition of Pro Wrestling Throwdown. As always, I'm Caleb Black, along with Luke the Big Dog Williams and our in-studio producer, the mighty Max Fury. Luke, how's your Sunday?
Sunday-ish.
It is a Sunday of a Sunday, is it not?
It is, but here's the deal, man. We've got a lot to talk about
Boy,
today.
howdy.
It's been big in the world of pro wrestling.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
buddy.
I know you're excited.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Max, how was your Sunday?
I'm doing good, doing fantastic. Rather you talk some wrestling?
Yes, sir. Hell, where do we start? I guess we can go ahead and knock out the latest string of NXT releases in the NXT news.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you watched or didn't watch, whatever, we're about to update you. Wednesday night ended definitively the NXT Black and Gold era. Tommaso Ciampa dropped the NXT Heavyweight Championship to the one and only Braun Breaker.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about. The match
Very
was
high.
fantastic.
I'm very high on Braun Breaker.
But it's the news that came the day after with a slew of releases connected to NXT. Coach Timothy Thatcher,
Yes.
which he was working as a trainer. This is the thing that gets me, right? Timothy Thatcher, premier catch-as-catch-can wrestler of today's generation.
Yes.
Wealth of knowledge that he can teach guys. With the NXT, the NEXT movement, where they're not getting wrestlers, they're getting athletes.
They're getting athletes, yes. The NIT movement.
How could you possibly get rid of the best guy to teach them professional wrestling?
Well, here's the deal. That goes along with somebody else we're going to talk about here in just a second.
Several.
The main one
Yeah.
that I'm upset about. Why would you get rid of that person too?
Yeah.
First off, but why would you get rid of somebody who can get in there, who is still in the prime of their game,
Yeah.
who can get in there and throw down with these kids? Because that's what we're getting. We're getting kids.
Yeah, we're
Getting fresh out of college,
Yep.
fresh off the Olympics, fresh off this, fresh off that.
no experience
You
in the
want
professional
a
wrestling
man
business.
like Timothy Thatcher, or like a
Road Dogg Jesse James,
or
who
maybe
also-
a William Regal to go with. Now, but here's the deal. You've got to find somebody. If you don't have Timothy Thatcher anymore, WWE needs to really dig deep with whoever they decide to fill
Yep.
that position with, because here's the deal. You're bringing in top caliber athletes,
Yep.
regardless if they're wrestling fans, regardless of whatever that is, whether they wanted to be a wrestler or they were a collegiate wrestler or whatever they are. You have to bring somebody in that's going to
Yep.
take the time and step through piece by piece, step by step,
100% agree.
100% of the time.
Yep.
Because if not, I've been in training seminars and things with actual athletes.
Yeah.
High school #1 picks for defensive linebackers.
Yeah.
And this, that, and the other, that would look at me at the end of the day and be like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
I used to take guys when I was in college. I would take guys to our ring in Anna, and we would run drills, and I would bump and blow them up. And we're talking SIU football players, SIU wrestlers, track athletes, you name it. That was one of my favorite things to do. And to have someone like Timothy Thatcher, to have, which we'll get into also Road Dogg and William Regal here in just a second, but specifically Timothy Thatcher, because he can still physically get in the ring with them and work with them on the physical parts of what they're doing. What a waste. However,
Hold on, this just in.
Breaking
the
news, everyone.
Female athlete who played Matilda in Glow, the actual original Glow Wrestling Federation,
Yeah.
who was also known as Queen Kong in different places
Yeah.
with the red hair, the big lady, has just passed away.
Oh, I hate
As-
starting out a show like that.
I
That's a
hate
shame.
that, but I want
It's
to break. I
topical.
want to break the news. 73 years old. She was Matilda the Hun.
Matilda the Hun.
Several different TV shows and stuff. She was known as Queen Kong through
Yeah.
most of WoW. Also, she was on Married with Children,
Yeah.
where she wrestled Al Bundy. She was on several episodes of What Would You Do
Yep.
on Nickelodeon as we were kids. A very big time woman wrestler in my mind, even though she wasn't technically
Yeah.
a pro, like a major name. It sticks out in my head due to the fact she was on them shows.
Yeah.
And stuff. Our condolences to
Such
to
a
the
shame.
family
Rest in
and
peace.
friends. Yes. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I
No,
thought that
that's
needed
breaking
to
news.
be-
That's what we do.
I
here.
thought that needed to be said.
well, continuing back to the NXT tale, there were also, before we get into Road Dogg and William Regal, which we are going to talk about, there were a slew of NXT workers who were released. I'll be honest, it was not a list that I recognized anybody from, but it was people that were brought into the Performance Center to train, and a number of them were released as well.
Not only Brian Armstrong or Road Dogg, his brother Brad Armstrong, the referee,
also gone. And again, senior referee, you're training new referees. Brian Armstrong is a member of the. For those of you unaware,
Brad, the referee, used to wrestle as. He did the gimmick where he couldn't win a match no matter what gimmick he tried in WCW.
Yeah.
He tried the Road Dogg gimmick, called himself B-Rad. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that you would release those two again with what you were saying about the young
who
talent.
are a member of the Armstrong family. And
Hall of Fame.
Many wrestling fans don't know this, but that is a royal family in wrestling. The Armstrongs have gone back all the way, to the 50s.
Yeah.
As far as having a lineage in professional wrestling.
I'm pretty sure Bullet Bob's daddy was a worker too.
Yes, he was. And we could talk for days about Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Well, here's the deal, and that's what a lot of people aren't realizing. They're all seeing it as they released the Road Dogg.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't understand, not only is he a lineage from the Armstrong family, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's been with the WWE
He
for 30
went
years.
in with DX, a year ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago? He's a Hall of Famer. They literally, not only did they release Triple H's buddy, not only did they release the Road Dogg Jesse James, they released a Hall of Famer.
And to put it in even more perspective, they're training new tag teams. So you get rid of Timothy Thatcher, who can teach you the fine points of professional wrestling, in-ring wrestling skills.
Right.
You got rid of one half of one of the absolute most memorable and arguably most successful tag teams of the Attitude Era.
There's no arguing.
So who's left to train them?
Well,
other than Shawn Michaels and his left eye.
Stop it. Here's the deal. Well, one, if they get rid of Shawn Michaels, it's a giant mistake.
Which will never happen.
Because here's the deal. Michaels is like Kevin Nash. He's about the money.
I did see something the other day on Twitter, and it was like Shawn Michaels looking over his shoulder at the NXT tapings. And I tweeted back, it's a good thing he can see over both shoulders at the same time.
You're a horrible motherfucker. I hope you piss yourself.
That's all right.
No,
he's cruising down Lake Havasu anyway.
But no, you're right. Well, and here's the deal. Why would you let the Road Dogg go knowing that Billy Gunn is still in ring shape and working for AEW?
Can we talk about Billy Gunn?
What going on your point, I'm gonna make you look like $1 million here. Because that's what I do. I'm the feed guy. The greatest tag team division in pro wrestling right now is AEW.
And you just gave
would you give them the Outlaws?
You just gave them a legendary tag team for one more run.
Not only just one more run, you gave them a legendary tag team that could put these tag teams together and work them.
Yeah.
FTR and the Outlaws, take my money.
Take all of my money. Take it.
Young Bucks
it in your pocket.
Doing the too sweet to two members of the clique. No.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Because then you got the guys coming out like this, and of course Road Dogg and Billy Gunn being like, "I got 2 words for you." It's just like the NWO versus
what would they
DX
say? Because obviously they couldn't use "suck it," but like if they're like, "We got 2 words for you," could be like, "Kiss it."
They don't have to say anything. They'll let the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd will answer for them. That's right,
and that's a loophole.
That's true. Ask Daniel Bryan.
He teases it a lot.
Yeah, Bryan Danielson. I should.
He teases it a lot.
And then, of course, the big the biggest name in this series of releases, in my opinion, William fucking Regal.
Yes.
William Regal has forgotten more about professional wrestling than anybody who is currently in the business right now will ever know.
Mm-hmm.
You have a slew of inexperienced, ill-knowledged people who have no interaction in the wrestling business, and you took a guy who has had a career that has spanned near close to 5 decades.
Well, let's throw it out here. As Lord Steven Regal, he was a tag team champion.
Yep.
With Bobby Eaton.
Bobby fucking Eaton.
He was a tag team with Triple H.
Yep.
As the original Blue Bloods.
Yep.
He worked Fit Finley.
Yep.
All over the place.
Absolute greatest series of European matches that World of Sports ever put on.
Television champion, multi-time television.
Intercontinental champion.
Multi-time European champion. multi-time tag champion.
I mean,
he was the king of the ring.
Yeah. And you know what's sad? I was just thinking about this quick tangent. He won the King of the Ring in he was in his 40s or 50s, right?
Yes, he defeated CM Punk in the final
And
round.
if he
Raw.
hadn't violated the wellness policy, they were on their way to making him a world champion.
Well, and here's the deal. Here's the deal with William Regal. Health issues.
Yeah.
Had a lot to do with the kidneys failing.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
The fact that he still has a parasite
is what shortened his career.
Yeah.
He had to get out of the game because of that.
Yeah.
There was just no way around it. He has been a staple of WWE television since before the Attitude Era.
Yeah, since the early 90s.
He come in as, he's a man. He's a man.
Love that.
The lumberjack gimmick that he did, that was 97, 96.
Also, on the litany of once again, all of these inexperienced people who need trained, William Regal trained the pound for pound best professional wrestler in the game today, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, William Regal and Michaels both.
So you took the guy who taught the guy away from the ability to teach the next guy.
Yeah.
And I understand it's Vince's whole deal. Here's what it is. NXT lost, and the ratings were to AEW, and Vince got a craw up his ass.
Yep.
And instead of letting NXT flush out the newest stars of the day, Vince decided to railroad everything, which is fine. It's his money, it's his company, blah, blah, blah. But where they're fucking up is it's another avenue of exposed television for their up-and-coming talent before they want to bring them to their main roster.
Correct.
And you just got rid of everybody who made anybody in that company worth the fuck. And all the guys who were worth the fuck saw the writing on the wall, and now all of them work someplace else. You just made the guys who trained the competition, who beat you, available for the competition to take them and continue training your competition.
And continually beat you.
Like what? You loaded the gun, you gave them the bullet, and you loaded it, you handed it to them, and then you stood still.
Yep.
Because here's what's going to happen. In 60 days, Tony Khan's going to open up his checkbook, and he's going to say, hey, William Regal, why don't you come and train all of these hyper-athletic 20-year-olds for me? Because all of these hyper-athletic 20-year-olds are going to be the megastars of the next 10 years.
Also, Mr. Regal, do you have Samoa Joe's phone number?
Right. Oh, yeah. Sorry, we completely glossed over that. Samoa Joe, for the second time in a year,
4 months span,
has been released. What you doing? Why are you doing that? Now, I understand, like, his injuries and stuff aside, and yes, he's not the Samoa Joe of 2005. I don't give a fuck about any of that. He's Samoa Joe.
Here's the deal. The Samoa Joe of 2005 isn't around anymore because WWE doesn't allow those athletes to work the kind of matches that they're used to.
But
Tony Khan does.
But that's okay.
Impact does.
Because
Ring of Honor does.
And y'all can say whatever you want, like it wouldn't be as good as it was, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. CM Punk versus Samoa Joe one more time. Just for the wrestling fans.
I'd buy it.
Just for the wrestling fans.
Well, and here's the deal. AEW is going to start looking like Ring of Honor from 2002 up.
It kind of already does.
Without AJ Styles and without Seth Rollins, but you've given them Samoa Joe.
Yep.
They already have Kazarian and Daniels.
Yep.
They already have now. They have Bryan Danielson. You have CM Punk.
Yeah.
You have the fucking
Eddie Kingston.
You have the Bucks.
Yeah. I mean,
Adam Cole, Fish, Riley.
Right.
You've got Ring of Honor. Yeah. You don't need Ring of Honor anymore.
All we're waiting on is Davey Richards to pick up the phone, and then we're set.
Well,
of course, he's not going to show up.
If he has a babysitter, he might be able to show up.
So, that being said, the vision of NXT ended with Tommaso Ciampa dropping the belt graciously to Braun Breaker.
I was gonna get a point out on the William Regal thing, and I totally spaced. The William Regal thing is, yes, fans. I'm talking to the IWC right now.
We know.
Listen to me. Yes, it sucks William Regal his tenure with the WWE is over.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean the man's career is over.
Nope.
But it sucks that his tenure is over.
Yeah.
But here's what you have to understand. Now that we have said our piece, and now that you've said your piece, let it go.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. William Regal went on Twitter.
And was incredibly
gracious.
Yeah.
Was like, thank you for my years of service. I have nothing Nothing but respect for the company going
He made
forward.
a fortune. He had a career there.
If he's not upset about it,
you don't have the right to be upset about it.
Now that we've gotten our opinions out.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing with Pro Wrestling Throwdown. When we do Anna Fight, or when we do these videos, or when we talk to you on Facebook, when you guys write, this is just an opinion show. We're upset, sure.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that William Regal is no longer with the WWE.
Only for the reasons that we've already explained.
But again, after we explain our case and everything,
yeah,
we leave it on the floor there because it's not worth the time,
the aggravation,
and the aggravation to continually downplay the fact that he's perfectly fine with being gone.
Yeah, he's going home.
It wasn't like, he was the number one heel that you let Goldberg beat in Saudi Arabia for a championship and then get fired the next day kind of thing. William Regal had his tenure. William Regal will always be William Regal.
Yeah.
Regardless of where he's at.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your
21-year storied
career, and I can't wait to see what he does from here.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that there's an avenue somewhere for a William Regal just for the benefit of his experience.
Yes.
For the benefit of him getting a chance to sit down. And what I would really love is for him to do one last run on the indies. Not necessarily as a wrestler, but for him to go around the indies, watch wrestling, talk to younger guys in the locker room.
Kind of like Uncle Tracy.
Right. Offer his experience and the benefit of his experience to guys who could use it. Imagine William Regal getting a chance to sit down with MJF and critiquing what little MJF needs critiqued, frankly, because he's brilliant and perfect and I love him. But imagine just that opportunity for William Regal to sit down with an MJF and says, I love what you're doing. You're the best heel in the business. Do this.
Yeah.
Try that. Or him sitting down with a tag team like the Lucha.
Oh, you mean so him do his job that he's been doing ever on NXT.
Right.
But do it
all
on the
over
indies.
The place.
It makes
sit down
sense.
with the Jurassic Express and be like, you're a big guy. You're a smaller guy.
Dude,
try this.
Somebody like somebody like Jungle Boy would benefit so much.
Darby Allin. Of course, Darby has the benefit of being under Sting's wing right now as well.
But that's okay because William Regal isn't really a horrible person to throw in with Sting because Sting knows William Regal knows his shit.
Exactly. So with that being said, best of luck.
He did gracefully bow out. Now I'm going to jump back to you for what you were saying about the other graceful.
Tommaso Ciampa drops the belt to Braun Breaker.
Great match.
As he's leaving, really nice little graphic they did with the black and gold. Then he went up to Rick Steiner, who was in attendance, shook his hand. I imagine they exchanged certain words. Tommaso Ciampa obviously put over Braun Breaker's talent. And just what a very cool move. Went to Rick Steiner, who, again, legend. The fact that the Steiners aren't brought up enough in conversation about the argument for best technical wrestlers is a shame.
Well, I usually use them in the argument for best actual tag team.
Oh, they often are, but really, you can't negate the fact that their 90s run, especially in Japan, they were the best technical wrestlers.
Well,
period.
Rick Steiner and WCW single-handedly made the United States and the TV titles watchable.
And Scott Steiner was in every conversation to be NWA champion before
you get the chance. Go to the network or YouTube if you can find it.
Yeah.
And check out Rick Steiner versus Ric Flair for the WCW Big Gold Belt.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a Clash of the Champions.
Yeah, Clash.
And you'll see exactly what we're talking about. Actually, you'll see Braun Breaker wrestle Ric Flair.
Right. But that being said,
he was shit out of his.
We've been talking about how great Braun Breaker is. Again, I said last week, the only reason I still watch NXT is for Braun Breaker.
Yep.
Now he's the man. So question is, we don't know if Ciampa's on his way out.
I think he is.
I
think he's on his way to the roster.
I agree that he's on his way. Wherever he goes is whatever. But NXT just got a lot more interesting because now Braun Breaker's in charge. Now Braun Breaker's the top guy.
I did a segment that you guys really enjoyed over the Scott Steiner and what if he would have
been world champion.
Yeah.
My favorite segment of the week.
We're actually getting to see
the Scott Steiner, the Steiner play out
as world champion right now.
Yeah.
People don't realize or don't put two and two together because it's the NXT.
Right.
But it's still considered a world championship.
Yep.
And here's the deal. He's got the head on his shoulders like his daddy Rick.
Yep.
He's got the build like Scotty.
The physicality of the Steiners in general.
And he's somebody who still studies Undertaker tapes.
Yep.
And still studies the way wrestling was done in the 90s.
Yep.
And here's the deal. That's Vince McMahon's bread and butter.
And he's only 24 years old.
A lot
He's
of
only
room to grow.
24. By the time he's 30, he will arguably be, if he's not one of the absolute top stars in the business in the next 6 years, I will be as surprised as possible because he's nothing but raw, unbridled talent.
He's fun to watch.
He is fun to watch. And he is the guy that,
because he's a throwback.
While the WWE does their PG thing, and NXT is transitioning to being TV 14.
Yes.
They were pulling the reels off of him anyway. They were letting him use the word bitch and ass, which is often reserved for guys like Roman, the top guys. Like,
Stone Cold can throw a microphone into the audience. Chris Jericho
exactly. Chris Jericho sets it down politely. So with the NXT news out of the way, the other big thing from the week that I really want to talk about, and I'll explain why this is such an exciting thing for me, and then we can get into it. Mickie James, who just won the Impact World Women's Championship.
Successfully defended last night.
Defeated Deonna Purrazzo for it, has been announced to be an entrant into the Women's Royal Rumble this year. For the first time ever, a women's champion from another company will be featured in a WWE ring, and I can give a fuck what anybody says about, they did her so dirty, blah, blah, blah. Number one, I saw this all over the IWC. They couldn't understand why she was doing it if she had such a bad time. Can I tell you why she's doing it? Because they're paying her. The professional part of professional wrestling means you get paid. Now, outside of the realm that she's catching a check, she's representing her company in a WWE ring for the first time ever, with the exception of the Christian Cage Ric Flair trade for the Hall of Fame back in 2011.
Yeah.
The first time ever an Impact personnel acknowledged as an Impact personnel. They didn't even talk about Impact when AJ Styles debuted.
Stone Cold did on the podcast.
Right, but I'm talking when he actually debuted.
Yeah.
The WWE decided to put forward, we just booked the Impact Women's Champion in the Women's Royal Rumble. We were talking before, whenever the whole Forbidden Door thing came up, was that what happens if Vince goes a little crazy in the end and decides he's going to start playing ball?
You're talking about that's another thing that we've called months ahead of time.
Here you are, kids. Vince McMahon decided he's playing ball. And even if this is the only thing that happens, even if he doesn't bring anybody else in, it's so fucking cool.
It also proves a point.
It does prove. Vince is always, Triple H did say 2 years ago, Vince is open to business, but the business has to be right.
And not too long ago, there was an interview published with Tony Khan who said that him and the WWE are working together in talks to work together on future projects.
Yeah, likeness stuff and different.
But again,
I mean,
and that's all.
The WWE has always been, even during the days of the territories, where, you'd see certain things, in the 90s, you had the Smoky Mountain crossovers, the NWA crossovers, the AWA stuff in the late 80s, until, he fucked the AWA by buying Hogan out. Either way, Vince, even in the days of the territory, the WWF was always an island. No, Black Saturday was when they...
when Vince showed up on WCW television after he had bought...
No, that's when he bought the time slot for the TBS show.
I'm talking about the time where he actually was on there with a microphone and he called two shows worth of shows before they switched it back.
Yes. Yeah.
That was called Black Friday.
Black Saturday. What happened was...
It was Saturday night.
They bought the air slot to the TBS WCW show. Vince offered more money.
Yeah.
And he bought out the time slot and he had it, I think, on lockdown for like 8 weeks guaranteed. And then here's the coolest part about it. When the fans tuned in to watch the wrestling, they started calling TBS, and they weren't complaining about the program. They were complaining about the fact that Gordon Soley wasn't calling the show. They were mad they weren't getting their Gordon Soley wrestling. They didn't give a shit who was in the ring. It was the fact that the fans, and particularly the southern states, weren't getting to tune in and listen to Gordon Soley.
Yep,
and
that's
so
fact.
TBS was just like, okay, we're canceling this.
I believe that they ended up buying it back from McMahon for twice what he bought.
They sold it back. Well,
or like a 1.5 up.
They put money back into it, and so did not Bill Watts. Help me out.
Crockett.
So did Crockett.
Yeah.
But Vince ended up making more money than he paid for the time slot,
yeah,
which would later go on to be part of the funding for WrestleMania,
yes,
ironically. But anyway, Mickie James in the Royal Rumble, an Impact champion. So cool. So cool.
You said before the reason that she's in it. It's professional and you get paid. Also, what you need to understand is regardless of how she was treated in the WWE, Mickie James will forever be a WWE athlete.
And she'll always be a professional.
If she's asked
and paid,
she's going to show up.
Yeah.
And that's how wrestling should be.
She'll also...
There's no such thing as brand loyalty anymore.
No.
Mickie James falls under the category of brand loyalty. She was brought up like Trish, Lita, Molly Holly, Victoria. If you're asked, you do it. If capable.
Yeah. And she'll also set a record. She'll be the only woman ever to, one, represent another company in the WWE, which is a huge deal. But not only does she wrestle for Impact, she works for the NWA. So in 2022, she'll be the only person who wrestled for Impact, NWA, and the WWE, not only in the same year, but in the same night, which is epic, which is so cool and good for her, especially after the debacle of her getting fired and how she was treated. Who's to say that wasn't Vince saying, you know what, we did you dirty. You did work for us. You were a huge part of our business.
You're one of the biggest names in pro wrestling.
Let me see what I can do to make this right.
Because here's the deal: when you look back at the lineage of professional wrestling in its heyday, in my opinion, of the time of Victoria and Jazz, Jacqueline, Molly Holly,
Ivory.
When I think Trish Stratus, a lot of people are like Lita.
Mickie James, man.
Mickie James and that kiss.
Mickie James, yeah.
It was shared on Raw.
The stalker fan becoming a wrestler.
Was the best pulled off of the Attitude Era.
100%. Not only did she set that off when she went to Impact, she set viewing records there and was the first ever main event of an Impact and a pay-per-view.
And not to mention, it was a cage match.
And she's been...
she main evented... they main evented in the cage the night that the Impact went up against Raw.
Her and
the first night.
Victoria.
No, her and Gail Kim for the title.
Was it her? Well, her and Victoria were the cage match, I thought.
Okay, yeah, then it was Victoria.
But her and
Gail
she
did
Kim
the crossbody from the fucking cage.
But she's been a women's champion everywhere she's gone.
Oh yeah,
everywhere. She put up with the Mickie James shit. She put up with the unceremonious firings. She put up with all the stupid angles they threw at her. Then, in between wrestling, she went and cut like 2 country music albums, which were really good.
She was NWA Women's Champion.
Like, man, the woman she gets her flowers. And I'm telling you right now, she is my pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble because I think the idea that on night 1 or night 2, an Impact Women's Champion going up against one of the WWE Women's Champion sells that show. And if they do it like they did last year, where the women main event, I'll just say
Mickie James, Becky Lynch.
Wow. See, I was going to say Mickie James, Charlotte.
I was thinking that, but I would rather see.
Honestly, I don't care which one it is because both matches not only work for Mickie, they work for the other girl too, and that's a program in and of itself, and it's a once in a lifetime deal. You don't get to do this over. The women's Impact champion probably won't be in the Royal Rumble next year. If she is, fucking hats off. Keep doing that. But for the first time ever, don't waste this opportunity. Put her over. Let her win. Let her beat the younger girls. Come out because she's got some experience. She's older than a lot of the girls. Let her come out and have her renaissance. Main event night 1 of WrestleMania against a Becky or a Charlotte. I'm sold. I'm sold.
It's not like you have to put her over at Mania.
No.
Her being at Mania is putting her over enough.
Her winning the Rumble puts over Impact.
Yep. Yeah.
It leads into that. Not to mention
it also makes Impact look like viable competition.
And they get twice as much airtime to run that feud. Because you could, not that Vince would ever do this, but fuck it. Let's say he does get invested. Let's say Mickie James does win. Who's to say it's going to be Mickie James and Becky Lynch night 1 of WrestleMania, right? Okay. Who's to say Mickie James isn't cutting the promo on Impact? Becky Lynch don't show up and start throwing hands with her. Where Impact in the AEW thing failed was, yes, Kenny Omega showed up on Impact TV. Rich Swann never showed up on AEW TV. Not one time. Not one time in that whole 3-month deal. Fuck it. If we're going to do it right. Make it about territory warfare. Have Becky roll up with the 4 horsewomen and fucking go to work with the women's roster and have Deonna Purrazzo and Jordan Grace and the women of Impact show up and have a fight. Let's fucking throw some hands. Let's get people invested.
Here's the deal. You can take this Royal Rumble win with Mickie James.
Yep.
And you can build on it to Survivor Series where you would have Impact's 5 versus WWE's 5 in a Survivor Series.
And
match.
What we were talking about
would be a great build. It'd be a long build, but it'd be a great build.
Absolutely nobody would invest the time to watch Moose versus Roman Reigns or Moose versus Brock Lesnar. Let's face it, Moose isn't that big of a star. And really, Impact's cornerstone of their company is their women's division. I love Money Brown. But their cornerstone is that they've always had the superior women's division. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I heard you say that, and my brain didn't stop working, but it just stopped working. But their cornerstone's always been the women's division. It doesn't hurt Vince to trade female talent. No. It doesn't hurt Vince at all, especially when he's using his megastars. Because first of all, they're getting paid too.
Well, here's the deal: he can pay to be able to tell them, "Okay, I don't want you anymore. Go back to your own show," rather than have to pay for releasing all of these superstars.
Also, where AEW and the Impact deal, what they didn't explore. While they did a lot with the NWA women's division.
Yeah.
They didn't explore the Impact women's division nearly enough.
No.
That could be Vince's cornerstone and be like, we're going to do this the right way.
Right.
And again, this is all speculation and what I want to happen. Who knows? Mickie could enter the Rumble, get eliminated in 2 minutes. Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
But the perfect way to do this, man, is to go full fucking tilt all the way to WrestleMania.
I agree. And further.
Yeah.
You can go further.
all throughout the year. And
because here's the deal. Most of the Impact roster that are big names right now
are the women's division.
Well, not only that, but I mean, what I'm talking about, if you wanted to do a full-blown working relationship, because this is where you build that.
Yeah.
And do to where we get to a men's Survivor Series kind of thing. Most of the top talent in Impact are former WWE superstars.
Correct.
Who know how to work Vince McMahon style of matches.
Correct.
So what you do is you put a Cardona and a Myers and all these people against 5 of WWE. They've worked these guys.
Yeah, they know these guys.
They know Zack Ryder. Yeah. They know these tenured guys like Christian was at the time. He doesn't work there now, of course, because the fall through between AEW and that. But these names, that would be kind of cool because you would see Zack Ryder get the recognition he deserves of being a big player for the other company against the WWE guys.
100% agree.
Brian Myers, same thing with whoever you would throw on the group.
Yeah.
Rich Swann. People who have already worked with Roman Reigns. People who have already worked with Seth Rollins, who've worked with The Miz, who've worked with all these people. Would be a pretty fantastic match.
100% agreed.
And would look like Vince McMahon style match, which would make Vince McMahon happy, which would also make them Impact players happy because they're going to get so much money.
So much of the money.
Much money.
So, okay, real quick. Since we're still talking about the Women's Rumble.
Okay.
And that's going to be our focal. We'll talk about the Men's Rumble at another time, with the exception of how awesome Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar is going to be.
RKO, baby.
We've been waiting on that forever. Anyway, give me 3 names not contracted in the WWE, since they've still got, 11 spots or 14, 13 spots to whatever to fill, not including Mickie James. 3 names off the top of your head, women's talent you'd like to see show up and make some noise in the Women's Royal Rumble.
Okay, well, first off, my dream final 3 in a Rumble would be Charlotte Flair, Tessa Blanchard, and Britt Baker.
Oh, my God.
Of course, that's not going to happen.
Well, no, not with Britt Baker. But Tessa Blanchard could be part of the conversation.
That's what I mean. AEW's Women's Champion's not coming.
Yeah.
That's why we got the Impact Women's Champion. Walmart, Wish.
Right.
But no, I'm kidding. Of course. No, 3 names in the business right now. It would be surprising good entrance for the Royal Rumble. Okay. Don't have Tessa Blanchard.
Yep.
Obviously, I think that goes without saying.
Yep.
Honestly, if the teasers are true, I know she is still a company girl. But Paige. I know she works for the WWE, but she hasn't wrestled in years. If she was to make a return, I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many names out there. Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace would be a good one.
would be a good entrant, but I don't know. I really don't know where you would go with a lot of big. I mean, there's a lot of names out there that I would love to see. The former Impact Women's Champion, Deonna Purrazzo, would be a coup to have her enter and eliminate Mickie James from the Royal Rumble.
And considering she's another person who got released a couple years last year during the big one.
Yeah, Tessa Blanchard, maybe AJ Lee.
I'm going to make a hell of a stretch, but you said just not WWE.
Yeah.
Mickey fucking Knuckles.
Well, that goes without saying.
That would
I'd
be
love to see
absolutely
Mickey
insane.
No, it wouldn't be good to see Mickey Knuckles. While I'm a huge fan of Mickey Knuckles, they wouldn't treat her with the kind of respect that she deserves.
We agree.
Not in a Rumble.
You're right.
So,
because I mean, she was Moose on Impact.
Yeah, she was
Moose Knuckles.
Yeah,
she did wrestle for Impact.
Okay, so
matter of fact, I believe she was a Knockouts champion.
I think she was too.
At one point too.
So I've got 3 names for you.
Okay.
Tessa Blanchard, obviously a given.
For sure.
And yes, I know negativity, blah, 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 but think about it. Tessa Blanchard, Charlotte Flair have the stare down at the end of it.
Yep. Blanchard,
Flair sells it for me.
Oh, I didn't
get off it.
Can I throw something in real
Sure.
quick? Possible return that would be epic. I know you didn't say returns, but
yeah, that's fine.
I did count Paige. Ronda Rousey.
Still pregnant.
I believe that she just had the baby not that long ago.
No,
didn't she?
still pregnant.
Sucks.
Yeah, she'll be out.
Hello.
Hello. How about Zoe Syke, the current Shimmer Women's Wrestling Champion?
Yeah.
Shimmer, the premier Japanese wrestling promotion. Japanese women's wrestling promotion.
Yes.
Bring over their champion. You want to know? You want to open up the forbidden door? Let's open it up. So Zoe Syke, Tessa Blanchard, and my off-the-cuff pick, but imagine how holy shit it would be, Thunder Rosa. I know she signs with AEW. I know she's locked down. But think about it. She's not a current champion there.
No.
And if you wanted to up the women's competition in the WWE, Thunder Rosa is the one to do it.
Well, also, I did tend to forget that Ring of Honor is no longer a thing and all the contracted members are gone. Angelina
Love. Still
in the prime of
her and Mickey could do a little something.
You could also do Velvet Sky and have Bully Ray in the men's Rumble.
Well, they're divorced now, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, they announced their divorce.
That's a shame.
I know. It really broke me up, too, because I really love that.
That's together. A shame.
I know.
Carriage.
I know what's going on over here. But yeah, those are my picks because honestly, and again, there could be some shit we didn't even. What if Britt Baker does show up in the Rumble? Who's to say she won't? Who's to say Vince doesn't go to Tony Khan and be like, look, I know what this is. I know what's going on. How much?
Right?
How much?
How many zeros is it going to take to turn that AEW pie into WWE pie? Yeah.
You got $1 billion. I got $1 billion. Let's make some more millions of dollars.
Did you say 50 miles?
35 miles.
Yeah. But no, well, Mickie James being included into the Royal Rumble is huge. If you're not talking about it, you should be.
You should be.
Because this is big.
It just opens up a ton of possibilities. And we were so excited when this whole Forbidden Door thing started. I remember calling you immediately after the AEW night when Omega won the AEW title and said they're going to talk about it on Impact.
Yeah.
Because remember, we were so hyped for it. And then, of course, everything kind of petered out, fizzled out. But like this could be
they had the right idea, wrong execution.
This could be the thing where the WWE's like, we got skin in the game now.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. If they are poison themselves to sell and they want ratings and they want to pop a number, why not? Get in the game now while there's still the game to get into.
Correct.
You know, who's to say we don't next year? Let's say all this shit goes well. Who's to say we don't see Moxley and Rollins one more time?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Who's to say we don't do a little? Of course, that's a big stretch. Khan and Khan working together, but
yeah.
I always love what Jim Cornette said. He was like, yeah, now 2 Khans run the wrestling business. Back in my day, only Khans ran the wrestling business.
Well, and here's the deal when it comes to Mickie and winning the Royal Rumble. If she was to win the Royal Rumble, it's not going to hurt Vince McMahon.
Nope. Because he can still put his champion over.
Exactly. Because at WrestleMania, Charlotte Flair is going to go over.
Right.
Or Becky
Lynch or whoever, yeah.
Or they don't.
But ride the pine, man.
Or they don't.
And Mickie takes the WWE title back to Impact for a spell?
Maybe.
Or
by the end of the year, we don't know if Vince McMahon just don't buy it outright.
I'd be okay with that.
Just flat out buy TNA.
I don't know what he would do with half their talent, but his library alone would be worth it.
Well, he would buy out the thing. He would still allow whoever's running it to run it. It would be his own competition.
Yeah.
He could run it the way he wanted to.
Yeah.
Super Dream matches. I mean, what a way to go out. Oh, Vince McMahon's lost his touch. This. Oh, yeah. WrestleMania next year is going to be like Starrcade with Japan, and we're going to have both companies working each other. There you go. That's what they should have done with NXT in the friggin' beginning.
Right. Just start throwing money around, Vince. Now's the time.
Now is
the Lord knows you got enough of it.
Well, here's the deal. You can't take it with you.
That's right.
Spend it while you got
Stephanie can only spend so much.
You keep fucking around, and Paul Levesque's going to be all...
I do want to clarify real quick,
yes.
Just so there's no false information out
there. Let's hear it.
And this is according to Wikipedia, so if it's wrong, Mickie, don't kill me.
Well, if it isn't the ambiguously gay duo.
While Mickie Knuckles does have a laundry list of championships and accolades, Knockouts Championship was not on her list.
Okay. Well, thank you for that clarification.
Yes, thank you, because I wouldn't want to actually get that. Oh, and Bull Bronson's in the chat room.
Hey, fuck you, Bull.
He ought to know.
I'll fight you. Fight you right now.
Don't take shit from him, Bull.
All right, so we've talked about the Rumble.
Easy. You have a condition.
Yes.
Don't sneeze.
Prick. So we've talked about the Rumble.
Yes.
We've covered NXT.
Yes, we have.
That's really all the big international news so far, so I guess it's that time.
Well, hold on.
Oh, yeah?
I want to throw out the fact that Ring of Honor showed up at Impact.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
5 names, so we're going to do an Impact invasion.
Matt Taven,
with
PCO.
Also, the former Tom Phillips.
Yeah.
The announcer for WWE has now transitioned to the announce table for Impact Wrestling.
We love him. We know him.
Todd.
Yeah.
I love when Jericho used to give him shit. You're Todd. I'm Tom. Todd. I don't see the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. That's getting exciting. Open door policy and all, forbidden door or whatever.
Yeah.
It's looking interesting. It's a very fun time to be a wrestling fan.
It absolutely is. And don't hate on it, man, because we don't know how much longer this shit's gonna be this exciting anyway.
Yeah.
And it's nice that it's happening around Rumble time, because this is when you get your surprises. This is when you get the unexpected stuff.
Well, here's the deal. It's Rumble time.
Yep.
So enjoy it while you've got it, because Vince McMahon after WrestleMania is going to cut all your favorite wrestlers.
Right. Yeah, Seth Rollins will be all elite by next year.
Right.
All right. So I guess then, that being said, it is that time.
It is that time.
Max, it's time for birthdays.
Bullshit.
Take it away.
All right.
I'm going to beat you today.
Time's sake,
No,
and
you're
because
not.
I didn't have a whole lot to choose from, kind of pick and choose some birthdays.
All right. That's from last week when I beat you by 1 point.
Good little
That's
focus.
Bull,
Woman.
slap him around next time you see him.
Shit, you better pack a lunch.
First off, I want to
4 of
shout
them.
outs to Toby Farley. Had a birthday
Yep.
this week. I didn't catch how old he turned, but happy birthday,
Old
Toby
enough.
Farley.
Old as he wants to be.
Right. You going to tell him?
The giant piece of shit,
Rob
Rob
Leach.
Leach.
Happy 21st birthday, Rob Leach. Even though
Happy
you don't
21st birthday, child.
Hope you enjoyed it.
even though you don't drink, we'll drink one for you.
That's right.
All right, let's get into some birthdays.
All right, gonna kick your
How
ass.
about January 3rd?
Okay.
Jim Ross.
Jim Ross is 68 years old.
Jim Ross is 68 years old.
Jim Ross is 70.
Okay, so no point there.
I wasn't going to give you the point on Jim Ross.
Did we cover the fact that he beat cancer last week? Did we talk about that?
I
think I mentioned it.
Either way, Jim Ross finished all of his cancer treatments, and he is good to go. He was back on AEW Dynamite this past week. Got a hell of an ovation.
The CM Punk thing that he said was pretty cool.
Yeah. So
as
happy
well
to hear
as since you mentioned that Jim Duggan as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Jim Duggan beat cancer too. All the Jims are doing well.
It's that 80s wrestling
Except
mentality.
Crockett, because he's dead.
How about
Jimmy
you
Crockett
mentioned her
Ellis.
earlier? How about Jacqueline?
54?
58.
58.
On the button. Damn. Got me.
I know my Jackie.
The birthday was on
So
the
do I,
6th.
but we're not allowed to do that to you.
On the 7th, we had Chavo Guerrero Sr.
Oh,
would have been
senior.
his birthday.
137
We
years old.
lost him. And
Oh, yeah, that's right. He
2017.
passed away. That's
200,
correct.
212.
I didn't calculate.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Something like that.
1949 to 2017. You do the math. Not you, Caleb,
Not-
them.
Yeah, fuck your math.
You ain't got to do no math, man.
Also, Darby Allin,
Ooh, 28.
27 years old.
29.
Oh!
On the 8th, yesterday, Bushwhacker Luke.
Oh, God.
Yeah, my namesake,
You
Mr.
would
Luke
know
Williams.
this one, I feel
Your doppelganger.
Yes.
71?
He's the younger of the cousins rather. 67.
How about 75?
Ooh, got him.
He is older than I thought he was.
Yeah.
Wow. That means Butch has got to be in like his fucking
Just to say,
80s.
Butch has got to be at least 78, 79.
Celebrating birthdays today.
I would just like to point out that Bushwhacker Luke is still working at that age.
Yeah.
Like he's still on the
Him and
Indies.
Luke are actually friends, which is
We're
kind of
actually
cool.
friends on Facebook
Yeah.
because every time someone would tag him in something, it would tag me.
Yeah.
And
That's how
we
they
actually,
met. That's how they met.
We
That's
actually
really
have
cool.
had quite a few conversations on Facebook together.
See, today, celebrating birthdays today, we have Todd Gresham and Ruby Riott.
Ruby Soho, as she is now known, is
Ruby Soho is 32 years old.
I want to say she might 30.
About 31. That goes to Caleb.
Okay, I was thinking 30th because I know she was around. My
Todd
age.
Gresham,
Todd's got to be in his late 30s. I would
36.
think. 35.
How about 46?
Ooh,
He's a
wow!
lot older than I thought he was.
He doesn't look it. He doesn't look it at all.
No, he really
Went
don't.
to You, Caleb?
No, I went to Luke.
Look to me.
It's 3-2 right now.
All right, tomorrow, tomorrow, Tamina Snuka.
Who?
Tamina
Tamina
Snuka.
Snuka.
All right, here's the deal. I'm going to guess an age, but I don't want my ass kicked. So
I don't care. Happy birthday.
She's in her 40s. I would have to say.
47 years old.
I'm going to say a little younger and go 44.
How about 44?
Oh!
Happy birthday, Tamina.
Yes, for sure. Those underused talent.
Those are my nuts on
Professional
I
wrestling.
know she's watching. I know.
Yeah,
she is.
she's at home right now.
Yeah.
She's-
Her
She-
and Randy
she's-
Orton.
She enjoys that voice from behind the camera.
Randy Orton is watching. I love
We don't
you,
have
man.
enough time for that love letter.
Here we go.
Continue with the birthday.
No window love. Go.
Guess so.
On the 13th, we remember Shad Gaspar.
Shad
Oh,
Gaspar
Shad
is a
Gaspar.
true hero
Yep.
and someone who should be
1981
looked up to.
2020.
Passed away as a real fucking man.
Yes.
Tried to save his son.
Saving. No, he saved his son.
Yes.
But it
And
was
lost his
trying
life
to
in the
save his
process.
son and lost his life in the process. Shad
What a hell of a guy, man.
is all about that money. Yeah.
Your
That's all
money,
I'm saying.
money. Yeah.
Here's the deal. Sign JTG to something.
Please. Sign a little note.
Shad was the man. Shad was the man.
Also on the 13th, we celebrate another one of those Takakashi guys. It's a Yojiro this week. Takashi.
Yujiro Tanahashi?
Takahashi.
Takahashi. Takahashi is.
There's so many of them.
Hold on.
If you sneeze the wrong way, you pronounce somebody else's name.
Takahashi's 43.
I'm going to go 45.
He is, where'd he go? 41.
41.
Goes to
Nobody.
nobody. Okay.
Yeah, we both fucked that one up.
Yeah.
How about on the 14th? Oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan is
71.
73.
68.
68.
Best.
Damn.
Damn. Well, he did have a battle with a lot of health issues.
Sharing his birthday,
Most
One
of the
of my-
cocaine
one
out
of
of
my
Ricky Morton's
favorites.
bag.
Matt Riddle. I know Caleb loves him.
Matt Riddle is
He won me over.
34.
That's exactly what I was going to say 34.
How about 36?
36.
I knew it wasn't far
See,
off.
if I'd have just said 35, I'd have price of righted you.
Yep.
Also, Casey Catanzaro.
Casey Catanzaro
She
is
was
29.
American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Casey is 30 years old.
29.
32.
Oh, Luke got that.
I couldn't remember where
She
remembered
was
her
she was
from.
with Ricochet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember watching her
Yeah.
her run
Yeah.
on there.
She did a handstand save on the steel post in her first Royal Rumble.
Was that point?
That was to Luke.
To me,
And see on the 15th, Shane McMahon,
55?
58.
52.
52.
And also Bull Buchanan.
B squared.
Uh,
45.
48.
About 54.
I'll take it.
Wow.
54 is a 45 more.
All right.
Do.
Let's get into some celebrity birthdays.
Celebrity.
Or do you want to talk about?
We'll do the birthdays and then the wrestling dates out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I want to point out on the 13th, we will remember the great Rip Taylor, 1931 to 2019.
King of the confetti.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to reach back a little bit. On the 2nd, Cuba Gooding Jr. had a birthday.
Is he still in prison?
No.
Okay.
No. 54 years old.
That's what I was going to say. 54
years old.
Yeah.
No point. He's tired, though.
Yeah.
Also, Dak Shepard. Fucking love Dak Shepard.
Dak Shepard.
44.
I think he's a little older. I'm going to say 46.
47.
Ah, nice.
6-3. Luke, you're trailing.
That's right.
On the
Dragging
3rd,
him.
Mel Gibson had a birthday.
Batshit crazy.
I'm not sure he knows that he had a birthday.
63.
He's getting too old for this shit. I'm going to say he's 64.
66.
66.
And I appreciate the getting too old for this shit
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
They're going to kill him off in the next Lethal Weapon.
On the 5th, another great actor, Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall just
Oh.
turned 92.
Fuck, I wouldn't even. 93. Fuck.
91. No
91.
point.
Ah, damn.
Sharing his birthday is one of my many musicians, Marilyn Manson.
Tis musician.
Marilyn Manson?
Marilyn Manson, 44.
55.
53.
Damn.
I got it.
You got that one.
I got it. Yeah, that's right.
6 to
We're all
5,
stars
you're
now,
calling
bitch.
that.
We all
Let's
float down
see.
here, Georgie.
Rowan Atkinson had a birthday.
Mr. Bean.
Mr.
Uh,
Bean.
Ooh. He's in his late 60s. Has to be.
71.
60.
How about by him? Well,
I thought
we'll throw that one. No, I just said late 60s. I didn't give a number.
I thought you said something.
No. So we'll throw that out because you were going to say 67.
Well, how late were you going to say?
I was going to say 66, but
Well, I was going to say 67.
Yeah.
So
I would have got that point, but since
Well,
since you said it before I
you-
proclaimed.
I didn't really say the whole number, though.
But I knew you were going to say 67.
No, but how? Did
Because
read
you
my
said
mind?
67.
You can't read my mind. Are you
He
telling me
could've
right
said
now? What's going on?
You don't want me to tell people
All right,
what you're
no
really
point,
thinking.
fine.
Tell them what you want, what you really, really want.
Makes you stupid.
Thanks for the like, whoever liked
On the
our
7th,
Yeah,
too.
appreciate you.
Another two great actors, Jeremy Renner and Nicolas Cage.
Jeremy Renner is
Hawkeye.
48.
Jeremy Renner is 47.
51.
Oh, yeah. As far as Samuel Jackson, 65.
Not Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, sorry.
Fuck you.
I thought you said Samuel Jackson.
That motherfucking
Nicolas
snake.
Cage.
Nicholas Cage.
What
I'm
the
sorry. I don't know
hell?
why I thought Samuel Jackson.
First off, Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
is an immortal.
God, Nick Cage has got to be in his 60s too now, right?
Nicolas Cage is.
I'm going to stick with 65. Just
I'm
cause.
going to go 67.
58.
58. Wow.
Damn.
He ages slower.
Because
Because he's nuts.
Because he's a
Because
vampire.
he's nuts. He's rich and nuts.
He drinks the blood of small children.
Uh,
That explains
on
the
the
forehead.
His new movie where he's playing
Yesterday,
himself with Pedro
We
Pascal.
remembered
He's so
the
good.
great David Bowie,
David Bowie.
1947 to 2016.
Is the Goblin King.
Loved him.
Yeah.
Today,
All right.
celebrating birthdays today, we have J.K. Simmons.
Ooh, J.K. Simmons.
J. Jonah Jameson.
67.
71.
67. I'm sorry. Is
You're welcome.
that to you, Caleb?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's 8-5, by the way.
We also have the great Jimmy Page.
Jimmy
Jimmy
Page.
Page, Robert Plant, ring any bells?
73.
Ooh, 74.
78.
Oh, Price is right.
Price is right, motherfucker.
Now also,
I hate your face.
another fantastic one of Luke's favorites, the great Dave Matthews.
Ooh,
Oh, fuck.
shit. He's older than you think.
Yeah, probably. Got to push in late 50s.
No, I'm not gonna say that old. 52?
51. I'll go backwards.
55.
55.
I knew he was older than he looks. You've been around for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, Rod Stewart.
Wake up.
Rod Stewart's
79.
I was 73.
77.
Nice.
Along with
woman out here.
Pat Benatar.
Pat
Pat
Benatar.
Benatar.
Gosh,
Oh,
she's still a
God.
carriage house.
68.
I'm going to say 67.
69.
Oh!
Wow. I didn't think she was that old.
Nice.
And then on the 11th, we have Naomi Judd.
Ooh.
No one
One of-
else.
I don't
Oh, no,
know.
that's
You don't know
Winona.
if-
Naomi was the mom.
I know a lot of you people probably don't know who any of these are. Look 'em up.
Naomi Judd's got to be 75.
Oh.
She got to be up there because Winona's up there.
78.
79. Caleb steals another one.
Because Caleb's a fucking thief.
I think he's gonna whip your ass this
Oh,
time.
I am whooping his ass this time.
I
That's
don't
it.
know if there's enough blood
That's
for you
it.
to catch up.
As I leave the studio today, I'm pissing on everything. It's happening.
On the 12th, Oliver Platt.
You know who that is, right?
Jimmy King.
He's
the
the
best
best
wrestler.
wrestler.
He's the bestler.
Better than all the wrestler.
He's got
He's
class.
got class.
He'll rule ass.
He'll rule that ass.
Jimmy
King.
So,
it's a work in progress.
progress.
Oliver Platt is 64.
I'm going to say Oliver Platt is 68 years old.
62.
Damn.
Wow.
No point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck. They should do a movie where Jimmy King comes to AEW for one last run.
Fuck, why not?
Please.
Let him wrestle David
Let him
Arquette.
wrestle David Arquette. Yeah.
We have just a couple more.
Cool.
On the 13th, Trace Adkins.
Ooh, he's in his 60s. He's
Trace
got to be
Adkins?
66.
58.
60.
60. Damn.
I got that.
Luke got that.
Look,
I am really excited about his new show.
well, you got to remember, he's covered in chrome.
Yeah.
So he doesn't age the same.
You know,
either.
my favorite story about Trace Adkins was that his ex-wife shot him in the head and he just crawled to the kitchen so he didn't get blood on his new carpet.
That's fantastic.
I've been there.
That's the epitome of a country
Yeah.
song. Sounds like a couple ex-wives.
Last
Couple of my
two.
ex-girlfriends.
On the 14th, LL Cool J.
Oh, fuck.
Ladies love Cool James. That's what that stands for, by the way.
40s, right?
No, fuck no.
Older?
53.
54.
54.
Yeah, he's old. He
And
don't look
finally,
it because black don't crack.
That money don't
Jason
crack.
Bateman.
Jason Bateman. He's older than you think.
He's got to be in his 50s.
I'm gonna
Has
say
to be in his
56.
52.
Will be 53.
Ooh!
That's like 14 to
That's
7.
7. Yeah.
why the fuck we all gotta keep count?
'Cause
They're
of-
paying attention. Shit. That's it.
Right.
I'm
Let's
pissing on everything.
Let's
Don't
top
pull
it
a
off
muscle.
with a little wrestling talk. Let's go back to 1999.
Piss gravel. What's up?
Let's go back to 1999.
Okay. I'm there.
A finger poke of death.
Finger poke of doom. Not death. It's the finger poke
It
of
said death. I wrote down it's
Meanwhile,
wrong.
it's a Legion of Doom.
Yeah, yeah.
Doom, death, whatever.
So that
Talk
night,
about it.
that night is interesting. Hulk Hogan is set to return to represent WCW to take on Kevin Nash, who represents the NWO. Hulk Hogan, though, comes out not in the Hollywood garb. I'm sorry, not in the red and gold garb. Comes out in the Hollywood garb.
Yeah.
And as they go to lock up, pokes Kevin Nash in the chest. Nash falls to his back. Hogan hooks the leg for the 1, 2, 3. The thing about that story is that on the other channel, that very same night, was the night where Mick Foley won his first WWF
Now, hang on
World
just a
Championship.
second, because big thing that I looked over the whole thing and I would point at the whole entire card of that show was absolutely phenomenal, all the way building up to a great what was supposed to be a great main event.
Yeah.
And also on Raw, which I know you're getting ready to talk
go ahead.
about, was also a fantastic card all the way through.
So the interesting thing about the WCW deal was they had so much success in Atlanta whenever Goldberg beat Hogan on TV for the world title. And they build the entire show like a pay-per-view that was building up to this great big match. To mimic that feeling with Hulk Hogan's return, that's why they booked that Monday Night Nitro the exact same way. They wanted it to feel like a pay-per-view. They wanted it to feel like it was real. And in Russo's mind, and I can sort of agree with this.
I can see what he was doing.
Russo's deal was that he wanted people to believe that Hogan was coming back to be Hulk Hogan. That way, whenever he did screw the fans, it would push him over the top as a bigger heel. Where they failed was that as soon as the finger poke happened, 11 million people switched channels. Like that, an instant. Not even waiting for the full 3 count. 11 million people simultaneously changed back over to USA Network, channel 26, for those of you who don't remember.
24 for me.
In just enough time to watch, and like it happened in sync. Nash goes down, boom, channel flip. Austin's already making his way down the ramp. Hops in the ring with the chair, cracks the rock, slides out. There were so many people that tuned out that they actually lost like $2 million in advertiser revenue just from that one night.
600,000 viewers.
Yeah. Which were Nielsen viewers, so it equated to like 11 million households at the time.
Yeah. Here's what's going to happen on Raw.
Yep.
And I bet you that's going to be
the Tony Schiavone.
Here's the deal. The exact line was, if you're thinking about turning into the competition, don't. Here's what's happening.
Yep.
Goldust beat such and such, this, that, and the other. And the man who used to wrestle here as Cactus Jack wins their world title. That put asses in seats.
And you know what happened?
And at that very moment,
it did.
600,000 viewers changed the channel.
Yep.
What a wild night. And the crazy.
And here's the deal: people don't give Mick Foley that much credit, and they really should.
I think that was the beginning of the
that's where it ended.
That's where the ratings.
That's where the ratings war ended for them, and that's when the WWE skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to note because at the time that was the last week of the 83 weeks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they literally had
84, I thought it was 84 weeks.
It's 83 weeks. There's an entire podcast called 83 weeks.
I couldn't remember if it was 83 or 84.
But
listen to Bischoff.
What they had planned on doing was just what didn't end up happening was Hogan gets the belt back, and they were going to bring Goldberg back in to beat all of the NWO every single week again, leading back up to Goldberg and Hogan 2 like 6 months later. But it never came to fruition because Goldberg busted up his fucking arm, busting up that limo. But that night was supposed to be the second story arc to Goldberg's undefeated streak. And they actually planned on televising it in a way where he beat his own streak in that 6 months. Of course, they would have cooked the numbers and all that shit.
Like they did the first time.
But the story would have been, what was it, 161 or whatever?
173.
173. He would have got 175-0 the second time, leading to the second time he beats Hogan for the belt. Never happens. Instead, they flip over. Mick Foley's world champion leads right back into Austin Rock for WrestleMania, 19 or 17?
14.
What? No, not 14.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
15.
Okay.
Because 16 was the Fatal 4-Way where Foley retired.
Yeah, in 2000.
So it was the one before that, 15. Yeah. The Rock and Austin the first time.
And if Schiavone hadn't fucking led that ending off, they never would have lost the viewers. And to put that into perspective, if they hadn't lost the 600,000 viewer count, they would have continued beating the WWE in the ratings. But it was all because Schiavone dropped the soundbite and they lost that amount of viewers where everything changed.
Yep.
Which is interesting. I mean, for what a way to fuck you Bischoff, because he'd been fucking him on TV for months.
Right.
So anyway, a little backstory there.
I'm going to look, make sure that our news is up to date before we sign out here. But yes, no. Do you have any more dates, Maximus? Or was that it?
No, that's what I got right now.
Well, that's a damn good one to talk about.
Yeah, it really was. The swinging point in professional wrestling changed that night.
Changed the whole momentum of the business. We could
the whole game.
Yeah, we'd have still been talking about. Obviously, the Time Warner merger was going to end WCW regardless, but their ratings would have been stable up to the time where they left, which means they would have been able to shop for another.
Oh, network. Also, we forgot to cover the fact that Cody Rhodes had to pull out of Battle of the Belts.
Yes.
Dustin Rhodes was checked in, and the new interim TNT champion is Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara, yeah.
Everything else that happened on that night show, the champs retained. So, I mean, it was a pretty standard show, but I do think that needs to be pointed out that there is a new interim TNT champion in Sammy Guevara.
All right, guys. Well, that covers us up today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next Sunday where we're going to talk even more about the Rumble. But make sure to find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Follow us on Twitter at Pro Wrestling TD. Send us an email at prowrestlingthrowdown@gmail.com. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. And as always, from us to you, keep it in the ring. Put asses in seats.
Asses in seats.
Fuck.
Then
Take out your earrings.
Man,
Shivani.
fuck Joey Ryan.
Nice. I've got the